think that we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Erica, it is the middle of the day on Friday. Are you ready for the weekend?
Yes, I am going to the ranch tonight.
Oh, that's
How about
exciting.
you?
I am ready. We have a birthday party tonight at the trampoline park. So
Oh, that's a good time.
loads of fun.
Always a good time.
Yeah. So really quick, before we jump into what we're talking about today, I just want to do a quick introduction of who we are. We are Readiness Group. We are a training and development company that works on building sustainable cultures of resiliency with various different organizations. We have a passion for working with warrior mentality. So we do a lot of work with first responders and military and hospital settings and education, but we really work with whomever we can. So specifically, I am Dr. Kelly Guidry. I work a lot with families and kids on resiliency and trauma, and I will let Erica introduce herself.
And I'm Dr. Erica Slee, Doctor of Physical Therapy, working primarily in neurological and pediatric settings traditionally, but love talking about the concept of trauma and stress and how you can use physical strategies to increase your well-being. So
today we're going to talk about a strategy specifically to what we're calling this is spring cleaning your habits. But we're going to talk about the concept of what a tiny habit is, and then maybe a way to add something in that could help you feel more productive and benefit you in a small thing, but benefit you in a significant way. So just quickly, the idea of kind of taking an assessment of where you're at, reflecting on maybe some area or room that maybe you want to change or grow in. And that would be something that would, it could be something as simple as I want to have a better hygiene regimen with my skincare, or I want to have a better sleep regimen, or whatever that is. It doesn't really matter, but picking an area that you want room for growth in and figuring out what that looks like. So if you start small, right, you want the end game being, okay, now I'm in this habit of taking really good care of my health. But how do I start? So you want to start with the starting line instead of the finish line. And so you have to take it one step at a time. And so I'm going to let Erica talk a little bit about how that might actually play out in a daily routine.
yeah, so just the foundational components of a habit in general, you want to look at a cue, a routine, and a reward, right? Often what we focus on is the routine itself and try to, force ourselves into following that routine. And we don't pay attention to the cue and the reward. The cue is really important because that's how you set up your environment for success. So, if the relationship, if your goal is to improve relationships and you want to make a cup of coffee for your spouse every morning, then you have to have some kind of cue to remind yourself to do that as you're building this habit. Eventually, you might not need that cue because it'll be ingrained and enmeshed into how you do business. But at the beginning, giving yourself some kind of cue, a little note to remind yourself, or setting out the coffee so it's ready in the morning with 2 mugs instead of 1, or however you want to do it. So it gives you that cue. And then the routine, of course, is the habit, right? It's the actual making of the coffee. And then the reward is whatever you want it to be that would motivate you to continue. So it could be that you sit down and have that cup of coffee with your spouse for 5 minutes before the kids get up. So you get that little moment of peace together, or you just do a happy dance because you have done this for your spouse and you feel good about it. Whatever it is that is the reward for you. You've got to make sure that you focus on that side too. And the goal overall is to develop a craving, right? The craving is what makes us continue to do the habit on a daily basis. So what does that tell you? It tells you that has to be inspirational, right? You need to know the why behind the habit that you're building, because that's what develops the craving. And if that why is building a better relationship with your spouse, then the craving becomes that sense of connection that you have throughout the day that makes you think the next morning, I'm going to make sure to make that cup of coffee because we felt connected all day and our relationship was better. We fought less, whatever the case might be. It has a cascading effect on a lot of other things in our life. So that's kind of the tenets, the cue, the routine, the reward. And if you do that enough, you develop that craving that makes that become a natural part of your day. And your brain just naturally in the morning goes to, I'm going to make that cup of coffee because I want that feeling that I have with my spouse throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something just really quickly, when we first started really digging into this concept of tiny habits, I kind of scoffed at the idea of the reward. I'm like, why? Right? Like, I don't get it. Why?
Yeah.
And it sounded kind of silly because when you read about how the researchers talk about it, it's like, just do something like a dance or do that. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
small and easy. Don't make it big. Yeah.
small and easy. And do we really need that? Was always my question. Like, can't we
Mhm.
just do it? I'll tell you what, though, if you can find a way to get, it's what it's doing is providing that immediate feedback. And so you're training yourself, hey, something positive came from this. And so, and it felt good, so I'm going to go and do it again.
Yeah.
And so don't skip out on the reward. Find something,
Yeah, and
plan.
there's physiology behind that, right? That's it's
Absolutely.
in meshing that into the neurology of your brain, into the neural pathways in your brain by using your hormones and giving you that little reward, which gives you serotonin or dopamine or whatever the case might be, that helps your brain just integrate that more and more into its neural pathway till it becomes that craving and becomes a habit that you just do as a part of your daily life, right?
Yes, absolutely. So go out and find something small that you're ready to work on
And
and let us know what
inspirational.
it is. And yeah, small and inspirational, and then let us know what it is. So follow back up with us and let us know.
Yeah.
Any
And
last thoughts?
just a great resource. Atomic Habits is a fantastic book if you want to learn a little bit more about the power of habit.
Yep, go check it out. It's by James Clear.
Yes.
So, okay. All right, y'all have a wonderful rest of your Friday and a good weekend, and we will see you in a month.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.